For 15 years, they called me the family failure, until they stepped onto my private jet. The invitation to the Whitaker family reunion sat untouched on my mahogany breakfast bar, gold trim catching the soft London morning light. 15 years of mockery, dismissal, and doubt, about to collapse with one headline. I glanced at my phone. Financial Times. Camilla Rowe's immersive AI studio hits $4.8 billion valuation. 2 days before the reunion. So much for staying anonymous. Ms. Rowe, your cousin Miles is on line 1 again, my assistant chimed. Of course. He'd been calling since the article dropped. I answered. Hey, Miles. Camilla? What the hell is going on? Bloomberg just called me, asking how it feels to be related to a tech billionaire. Is this real? I looked out at the Thames. Guess you'll find out this weekend. No. You can't just, we all thought you were broke. Couch hopping through Shoreditch. Concerned, I asked dryly. Or mocking. Remember dinner jokes, Uncle Ben's temp job offer? Silence. Miles, Cambridge law grad, managing partner at 29. Always the family pride. How long, Camilla? I stepped onto the terrace, city hum below. Remember that dingy Soho flat? 15 years ago? That's when I launched my first interactive AI exhibit. Sold for £45,000. Then £160,000. By the time Aunt Judith wondered if I'd get a real job, I'd hit my first million. He went quiet. You asked Grandpa for help with groceries once. You drove that old Volvo. I laughed softly. I asked him to invest. And the Volvo? Just a decision. Like the penthouse, like the jet waiting at Farnborough. You have a private jet? His voice cracked. Gulfstream G700, I said calmly. Then the inevitable question. Camilla, how rich are you? I sipped my espresso. Rich enough that our next family reunion is catered by the Met Gala team. Silence. I could hear 15 years of judgment crumbling. I had never been the failure. I'd been busy building everything they said I couldn't. I picture Tessa, tossing her card at brunch. Camilla's still figuring things out. Let them think that. Forbes will print pound 5.9 B, actually, closer to 8. I've got a board call in 5, I added. See you on the island. Anna, jet ready. Bentley's to collect the family. Island confirmed. NDAs signed. Chef Marcel en route. Perfect. 15 years of being the eccentric, the disappointment, the quiet one. They'd meet the real Camilla. A text from Tessa. Is this Forbes thing real? Please tell me it's a PR stunt. I smiled. Locked the screen. Funny how the quiet ones get the last word. Dad texted. We need to talk. I powered the phone down. He could wait. By 11 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, the Financial Times went live. Digital visionary. Quietly built £8.3 billion empire. My photo at the platform launch. Custom Stella McCartney suit. The world would see everything I'd built in silence. Immersive AI studios, blockchain auctions, global collaborations. My phone exploded with messages. Tessa, are you joking? £8.3 billion? Miles silent. For once, they couldn't argue. I had wondered. I knew something was up. I should have asked more questions. Mom, Camilla, darling, please call us when you're free. Dad, there's no way this is accurate. Aunt Meredith, wait, is this our Camilla? I muted the chat and opened my inbox. Chaos. Invitations to speak, VC inquiries, art investors scrambling for a piece of the action. Then one name froze me. Charles Whitmore, my father's oldest business partner. Camilla, I've been following your success. I see huge synergy between Rowe Technologies and Whitmore and Lang. Your father may not have recognized it early on, but we're open to re-engagement. Charles. I laughed. For years ago, I pitched him a joint venture. He looked me in the eye. Not what we're looking for. Fantasy, tech isn't our business. The intercom buzzed. Ms. Rowe, your mother is downstairs. Persistent. I tapped the security panel. There she was, Vivian Rowe, pearls, pressed linen, pacing like she owned the building. Let her up, I said. The elevator opened. Her eyes swept the penthouse, marble floors, Damien Hirst on the wall, skyline view. "Camilla, what is all this?" she whispered. I handed her an espresso. "Mom, this is my real home, not the Islington flat you thought I was scraping by in." She stepped inside, trembling. "But how? When? How long?" 15 years, I said, leaning on the island. "Since the night you told me no one pays for computer art." She froze. "We thought you needed help. You asked your father for money." "No," I corrected gently. "I asked him to invest. He said it was a waste." "And the flat? The Volvo?" "Part of the image," I said calmly. "The struggling dreamer you were comfortable with, the disappointment you could control." She sank into an armchair, shaken. "You lied to us." "No," I said. "I just let you believe what you already wanted." For the first time, she wasn't in control of the story. I was. "Does anyone else know?" "Just Miles," I said. "He saw the article. Tried to warn you." I picked up a black folder, embossed silver. My proposal to Dad 4 years ago. I asked for £750,000. If he'd said yes, that stake today would be worth over £90 million. Her hands shook. "He said you were looking for a bailout, that it had already failed." "And you believed him?" Silence. "Did either of you ever attend an exhibition? Google my name? Watch a single interview?" The family reunion was still on, but the location had changed. "Everyone will be picked up in Bentleys, flown on my private jet, and we'll celebrate on my Caribbean island." "Your island?" "St. Kitts. Bought it last year after my first £1 billion partnership. This time, I won't be the quiet one at the table while everyone brags about law firms and province homes. I have a few things to share too." She straightened, pale but alert. "Your father, when he sees this, he won't be able to deny it. His daughter built more than the Rowe legacy." I smiled. "And Mom, this is just the beginning." 3 Bentleys, different colors, just because I could," I added. The elevator doors closed on her stunned expression. I pressed the intercom. "Anna, is everything set?" "Yes, Ms. Rowe." Island staff briefed. Personalized folders ready for each guest, showing every declined investment and current valuations. Documentary timeline queued for dinner. Perfect. Frame the Financial Times article in every villa, every suite. It should be the first thing they see. I caught my reflection in the glass, poised, powerful, worth billions, finally rewriting the narrative. Morning dawned. 3 black Bentleys rolled onto the private airstrip outside London. First out, my father, stoic but faltering. Then Mom, subdued, still elegant. Miles, Tessa, cousins, uncles, family friends, blinking at the rising sun, confused by the jet gleaming at the runway. And there it was, my Gulfstream G800, spotless, Rowe Interactive etched in platinum. "Welcome, everyone," I called, calm but commanding. "I trust the ride was smooth?" "Camilla," my father said, stepping forward, trying to sound composed. This time, I was in control. "This is excessive. The estate in Sussex would have sufficed." I tilted my sunglasses. "Too public, Dad. This reunion needed context. That's why it's on my island." "You're what?" Tessa blurted, clutching her Dior like a life vest. "Of course I have an island," I said. As they stepped onto the jet, I watched their reactions. First disbelief, then awe. Crystal lighting, rare sculptures, vintage Krug on gold trays. "Is that a real Hockney?" Aunt Meredith squinted. "It is. Snagged it at Sotheby's last year," I said casually. Dad cleared his throat. "Camilla, perhaps we should talk." "We will, once we land," I said, raising my glass. "In the meantime, enjoy the champagne. Costs more than your quarterly revenue, Miles." 2 hours later, we descended toward paradise, my 300-acre private island off Antigua. Lush palms, polished architecture, the main compound crowned atop the hillside. And there it was, as planned, Camilla Rowe spelled in bold white across the helipad, visible from 30,000 feet. LED panels rotated through my digital exhibitions, Fractal Eden, Code and Grace, Signal Bloom, each frame showing final sale figures. "Welcome to Rowe Island," I said. "My little corner of the world." "Little?" Miles muttered, staring at the futuristic resort perched among cliffs. "Your villas are ready," I continued. "Each room tailored for you. Dad. Every rejected investment, annotated with current valuations. Tessa, a chart comparing your salary to what I earn in compound interest every 48 hours. Miles, your firm's 3 largest missed contracts, plus 5-year opportunity cost." This wasn't revenge. It was clarity. After an hour to settle, I summoned them to the main dining hall, a glass-walled expanse above the Caribbean coast, waves crashing like a metronome counting down to the moment they'd never forget. The table was set for 20, Italian crystal, platinum-edged china, silver place settings worth more than most of their homes. Surrounding them, framed and backlit, was the Financial Times cover story, "Digital Visionary: How Camilla Rowe quietly built an £8.3 billion empire." They entered slowly, eyes wide, bravado peeling off somewhere between the helipad and the mahogany-lined corridors. "Please," I said, gesturing warmly. "Make yourselves comfortable. We have quite a bit to talk about." "Camilla," my father began, carefully measured. "We're surprised." "Surprised?" I echoed. Not furious? Not disappointed that I hid the truth? Just surprised? "We didn't know," my mother whispered. "No," I said gently. "You didn't want to know. Every time I tried, you changed the subject. Every chance I offered, you dismissed me." Tessa's face flushed, finally embarrassed. "Did you enjoy it?" I asked. "Being the one with the real job?" She said nothing. "Let me show you something," I said, tapping a button beneath the table. Panels descended from the ceiling, lights dimmed, and a timeline appeared, pairing my milestones with their exact words. 2010. "This tech art stuff is a phase." Dad, first exhibit sold out in 72 hours, £42,000. 2012. "You need something stable." Mom, Rowe Interactive closes seed round at £4.5 million valuation. 2015. "Not everyone's meant to be a CEO." Tessa, Series B funding secured, IBM Europe partnership. 2018. "Crypto art is a gimmick." Miles, platform reaches 800,000 users, £320 million annual sales. 2021. "We don't invest in virtual fads." Charles Whitmore, strategic exit at £2.1 billion. Every comment I remembered. Every insult fueled every late night. Every deal. Every leap forward. "Why didn't you tell us sooner?" Dad's voice cracked. "Because you weren't listening," I said quietly. "I had to show you success doesn't wear your uniform. Sometimes, the girl you think is wasting her time is just ahead of it." I stepped to the panoramic window. The hardest part wasn't secrecy. It was watching you celebrate each other while pretending not to notice what I built. Miles scoffed. "What? This is success." "Yes," I said calmly. "You chose safety. That was your finish line. Mine was higher." I turned to Tessa. "You were your 6-figure salary like a crown. I made that between meetings last week." Dad stood abruptly. "Enough. We get it." "I'm not here for apologies," I said. "I'm here for understanding." Another tap. Holographic prototypes appeared, spinning in the air. "Next month, my new project. Forecasted £10 billion in 18 months. This is the next chapter. Watch it happen." The room stilled. Silence. They were absorbing a reality they'd spent 15 years avoiding. Finally, Mom whispered, "We're proud of you. We should have been proud all along." I smiled. I built this for my vision, my truth. I looked around at the digital installations, the panoramic ocean, the humming servers. And now it's my world. Miles asked cautiously, "So, what happens now?" "Now," I said, pouring vintage Bordeaux. "We have dinner as a family. No facades. No roles. On my terms." I raised my glass. To the truth at last. One by one, they lifted theirs. Hesitation gave way to genuine attention. Later, barefoot on the terrace, I watched the moonlight ripple across the Caribbean. Anna whispered, "Was it worth it?" "Yes," I said. "Not for proving them wrong. For being free. Being me." Tomorrow, they'd see the next step. My world of immersive creativity, global equity, and bold reinvention had only just begun. A note slid beneath my door. "I was wrong. Not just about your company, about everything. You didn't just succeed. You redefined the rules. I'm sorry, Dad." I placed it beside the framed receipt for my first digital sale, £38,000 for a sculpture no gallery would touch. A reminder of where it all began. Success isn't about proving others wrong. It's about proving yourself right. And sometimes the most powerful victories are quiet, like a skyline shaped by your hands. Breaking news buzzed on my phone. Rowe Interactive announces groundbreaking platform redefining art ownership. I looked out at the sea, the island, the empire I built in silence. The future had arrived, and this time they were watching. No hiding, no performing, just truth on my terms.